It's Barcelona's #1 tourist draw, La Sagrada Familia. Antoni Gaudi's still uncompleted basilica, with its innovative design and construction, has a way of amazing and enchanting nearly every visitor.
It's amazing. I don't know how to describe it, but it was kind of my dream to come here.
I'm in the city for 8 hours, and I thought this was something that I ought to see.
Eine Sache, was man sehen soll, ja.
I think it's wonderful to have a square across from the church, a place of quiet before you enter the building.
More than 3 million visitors come to Sagrada Familia each year. That can leave little room for locals who like to visit the square across the street.
Also, people who live in the district here love this place. Anyway, squares are part of the Spanish culture. People sit here in the shade, they gossip about the neighbors and discuss the politics. Spain without the so-called Plaza is unimaginable.
For these two men, the Plaza Sagrada Familia is part of their lives. Fernando Lastra and Francisco Bojera have lived here with their families for 40 years. This is their home where they raise their children, but the increasing tourist activity is getting on their nerves.
We used to have a quiet neighborhood here, where you could go for a nice, relaxed stroll. And now there's this ruckus.
It's become an amusement park with all the trappings. Tourists, buses, hustlers, pickpockets, and so on.
For years, these men and the local neighborhood association have been fighting to preserve the original character of the area. Bakeries and fish shops have had to make way for businesses catering to tourists.
What we have here is a real monoculture of souvenir shops and fast food restaurants. They have a lot of economic power. That's why the rents for businesses have gone up so much. And that has a negative effect on the diversity of the neighborhood.
One of the last food markets that's been able to stand up to competition from tourist business is a little way off from the church. It's mostly local residents who shop here, and the market rarely sees tourists as customers.
They usually come in groups and don't have any time. Only the ones traveling alone sometimes stop in and look around, but they don't buy a lot.
The city government is trying to halt the disappearance of small food markets. They've closed down a few souvenir shops, especially those that had opened by outmaneuvering the authorities.
The shops open under false pretenses. They claim to sell something else, but gradually they transform into souvenir shops. So we have to be especially vigilant and take immediate action to make sure this doesn't happen.
But Francisco Bojera, Fernando Lastra, and their neighbors have no faith in the urban planners. They've known for some time that entire apartment blocks around Plaza Sagrada Familia are slated to be torn down. The church and the hordes of tourists are set to grow, and the longtime locals have to make way.
We've spent our whole lives here. This is our neighborhood, our memories, everything. Will they be able to provide housing for us nearby under the same conditions as here? Hardly. Everything we've built up over 40, 60, 70 years we'll lose.
The urban planner's dream is the local residents' nightmare. But the millions of visitors are unlikely to notice any of that. They might notice that the area around La Sagrada Familia reflects less and less the Catalan way of life, a charm that will be increasingly lost.